This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
This is where we meet New India's young path breakers. Hello and welcome on board a journey like never before, brought to you by Fly Kingfisher. Well, on this show, we will meet India's young icons from various walks of life, be it sports, politics, business, and entertainment. You will see them here, experience them here like never before. Let's see who's checking in with us on this very special journey today. Well, he's the author of 3 bestsellers. He's an investment banker turned author, Chetan Bhagat. Chetan, thank you very much for joining us on this very special show, and it's great to have you on board.
Thank you.
So what are you up to these days? Are you busy with a book? Are you busy with a Bollywood script? What is it?
I think the most significant development lately has been that I'm no longer an investment banker. I was one until March, and then, you know, with the world melting down and the recession coming, it wasn't a great time to be in banks, and also I just felt I need to take my writing to the next level and really accept that this is my journey and not the banking journey.
So you're not an investment banker anymore, but you definitely are an author, and you're also a journalist now. You're writing for Dainik Bhaskar.
Yeah, I'm author, of course, books, and I have since a little more time now, and also there are some national issues. So I got a chance from Dainik Bhaskar, which incidentally is one of the biggest circulation papers in the world, and definitely the biggest in India, to do their op-ed column on youth-based issues, also talking to a couple of other papers to do articles. And then there are the film adaptations. Bollywood seems to like my books to make them into movies. So every now and then I go and help the script writing team move forward on those adaptations.
Wow, you have a lot on your plate. But tell me, how does it feel to be called by New York Times as the biggest selling English language author in India's history?
Well, I mean, that's more a marketing line, really. I mean, of course, it feels great that because, you know, I rarely get direct praise in print, apart from my fans. But it's nice that a foreign
Well, let's put it the other way. You get a lot of criticism.
I get a lot of criticism.
But they also call you an author. You either love him or hate him.
Yeah.
How would you describe yourself?
I think that's the best way to be.
Yeah.
You know, if everybody likes you, then that means you're not taking that many chances in life. You know, I wish everybody would like me. That doesn't mean that I want people to dislike me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do like me. But there is a small percentage of people whom I have not been able to please. And since in my case, a small percentage of a few million is also hundreds and
Well,
thousands.
you've also not been able to please quite a few women in your life.
Yeah, see, I mean, luckily I have been rejected by a lot of women. I'll say that I'm lucky today because that gives me the basis for so many stories, you know. It makes very interesting story.
So it's the pain that makes you write.
The pain and a breakup makes for far more interesting reading. You know, a breakup is really fun as long as it's not yours. I'm thankful to all these women who rejected me and made me a better person.
Okay.
Even though sometimes I hate their guts. But
you want to look into the camera and say that to all those women who you're referring to?
Well, all of you who rejected me and ended up marrying some software programmer or some rich garment exporter, you all know how boring your life is, and you know, good luck to you. But you know, I do
we
miss
get the
you.
message. But you know, you were writing as an investment banker for someone who was doing what you were doing. You were writing in your spare time, and despite that, you achieved phenomenal success. How do you manage to be so successful?
Yeah, I mean, see, in any success, you know, of anybody who will come to your show, there is a fair amount of luck in life. I think there is a fair amount of luck in your life that you are today hosting a show. No matter how much we say I worked hard and I had determination and I had focus.
Or maybe I was at the right place at the right time,
place,
just like you.
Which is like luck, right? So there is a luck element that I chose the right kind of story. I chose a style which was completely, you know, fresh and not pretentious. And I think readers in India at least had become sick of these English literature books which were designed to win awards but were completely unreadable. So I think my book, because I felt that I cannot win an award, I wrote the book the way I wanted to write it, and I think that just connected with people, and from there it just one led to the other. So I think there's a combination of luck, right place, right time, and choosing something different without bothering on what is the established norm.
Well, you've really come a long way, Chetan. You have two twin sons now, and you're looking after them. You're a house husband, but we'll come back to that in a bit. But tell us something about your childhood. Your parents were separated. How
Yeah.
tough was it, and what kind of impact did it have on your childhood?
Yeah, I think the journey like never before has only begun after my writing came. But before that, in fact, one of my biggest strengths is that my journey was like a middle class kid's journey. Today I'm able to connect to them because most of my fans believe that he's like us, He's not born to an actor's family. He must have studied to get into IIT. He must have studied to get into IIM.
Yeah.
So they know that it's just not possible that you can be born into it. So I think it was that typical journey that we were, like my parents were government servants, and we were not very wealthy. So the only way out was a place like an IIT. My parents were not separated when I was growing up, but I wish they had separated earlier because they were fighting so much. But I think it happens in millions and millions of Indian families which become very dysfunctional. The parents fight a lot, and I'm able to come to terms with those things now. But I think as a child, you wonder what's going on. I mean, is this how people are? And people always fight. So I think that has still come into my personality. It makes me very sensitive. It makes me very neurotic almost. Like my mind is always buzzing with thoughts because I've
You're
lived with
basically
conflict.
crazy, right? You're crazy.
I'm crazy, mad, and it works really well for stories because
It doesn't work well for people around you, though.
it doesn't work well for people. It doesn't work well for me sometimes.
Well, it was school. It was school in Delhi for you, then college, and then your work took you to Hong Kong. You were there for about 11 years. What made you shift to city of Mumbai?
Yeah, see, I was there in Hong Kong for a long time, and Hong Kong is a wonderful place, and I used to, it's quite not very far from India. But I just felt, when my first, second, third book did extraordinarily well, I felt like, a bit like how the Dalai Lama is chosen. I kind of felt that I've been chosen to do something more, not just books. I felt my country, at least the younger generation, needs me to do something more. I understand their concerns. I can write stories about them, but I also am qualified enough to understand some of the other aspects of the Indian economy. I've worked in banks, I've advised governments like Thailand and Philippines on how to maintain credit ratings. Those skills are there in me, and I felt if I go back to India I can be the channel to address many of the youth issues.
Your first book was rejected by 9 publishers. That was one moment in your life where you must have been utterly frustrated, disappointed. What keeps you going then?
Yeah, I think I remember those were some of the hardest times because it took so long to write it. My job wasn't going so well there. There was a recession at that time. A .com bust had happened. And I do distinctly remember the moment where I guess 7th or 8th rejection came, and I was in office in daytime, and I just wanted to go to a bar and get drunk. And I was very close to doing that. And then I realized that, this thing I wrote to kind of make my life better and make me happier. And now I'm going to become alcoholic or, do something really negative.
Yeah.
And that's not going to work. So I think I felt I gave up the expectation because people were rejecting. I thought that maybe the book is not that good. So then my expectation suddenly got whittled down, and I felt that, okay, I want to see it in the form of a book. Even if it's there only in my living room, I want to see it as a book. And I'm going to keep trying till that happens. And that's what I kept going from first to second to the 9th.
Yeah.
And I do tell the young generation that yes, you need to be lucky, like we all need to be lucky, but luck will come to you only if you are ready for it. If you are out there saying I need luck, I need luck, I need luck, if you give up, then the luck will be wasted on you.
Well, as they